Today, I'm bringing you behind the curtain. You're likely seeing so many different workout routines right now online. And I thought it'd be fun to document an entire month of workouts. My weights, running, mobility, as I train for my first race of 2026. But realistically, show you how I'm working out when I'm not motivated, life gets in the way, and some tips and tricks you can use for your own programs in 2026. Let's go. Let's just drive right into week number 1 of this 30 days of working out towards half marathon. Yeah, I got a half marathon booked. I don't know, I thought it was side to side. It's just a plank. And week's number 1 theme is just get my butt out the door. Not caring about speed, if I have to stop. Today we have an 8-kilometer tempo run, and here's how I survive running in the cold and dark. I have to be up early before 6 a.m. It looks like this outside, and 3 blocks around my house is exactly 1 mile. So what do? I run around it 5 times. Is that lovely? No, but I know it's lit up, I know it's safe, and I know it's shoveled. It's temporary for the season. I'm finally starting a running program post-marathon after taking a few months off, and the fact the ground is covered in ice and snow when I started made things a little tricky, not exactly fast. And sometimes when I start something, I tell myself, you just have to do 100% of the workout. You don't have to give 100%, and that helps me, especially at the start. Because the theme for this year is being more balanced, bigger focus on strength training and mobility versus just hyper-focusing on getting as much volume as possible.
Today's outfit is not optimal. It is not sweat wicking. I would never give this advice. This is just called, I put on every layer I could because I'm chilly today and I'm running around the block. I can strip off layers. Winter running is sometimes just survival. So next time you see a running influencer with a really cute outfit on, you're like, oh, if only I dressed like that. That's how I normally show up online. But remember, this is how I probably look most of the time. Because I'm sure there's a diagram somewhere of like, the uglier the running outfit, the better the runner they are. I can wear my whole Lululemon A6 outfit, looking cool. The mom in the stroller and the baggy t-shirt will always be faster than me.
The first few days, everything was going great according to plan. Wasn't going 100%, but just getting more into the feel and getting 100% done. But day 5, I decided to swap my workouts for a group class because I did want to just give a bit more energy. And it was not optimal, but it was Friday and I wanted some fun. And I will always love a workout class that just gives me raver vibes on a Friday. And so yeah, that's why I did that. We got a 16K long run today, and it's ironically minus 16 degrees today. And I don't have the proper gear, so shoes. I'm just rocking some trail running Hokas. I need to get spikes, because safety. Nice vibe there, goats. Now, I'm following this program to get me trained for a half marathon in a couple weeks, but let's talk about my 6 steps to building a program. 1, pick a goal and make sure it's specific. 2, make a plan. You have a few options. 1, ideal, if you got the money, hire a personal trainer, very customized. 2, purchase a plan, a lot more affordable, a little less customized. 3, use an app. I personally use Runna. I started seeing everyone else use it. I used it for several months and absolutely loved it. It's what got me to the Berlin Marathon. I just love that it's super flexible. It caters towards where you're at and a realistic goal versus just this arbitrary role. It has weight training, mobility. It's like an all-in-one shop and I love it. I find it super adaptable to where I'm training to. 4, you can join a group challenge. And 5, you can build your own, which is the most cost efficient, but also you have to be the most knowledgeable, so it's tricky. Step 3, find a way to track. 1, if you're using an app, it will already track for you. 2, Apple Notes, Notion, a habit tracker app. 3, good old pen and paper. Step 4, schedule it. Find a way that you'll schedule it like a doctor's appointment in your calendar, whatever calendar you use. One of my favorite tips, you can sync Runna with your calendar of choice and it'll automatically appear right in there for you. So every day it's right there in my Apple Calendar. 5, accountability and track progress. Find a way that you'll show, whether it just be checking it off every single day, progress photos, testing your speed every several weeks. Just find a way that you can track if you're progressing. And 6, plan a reward. And ironically, my reward for this challenge is I'm booking this half marathon as a B race to keep me accountable to a program over November and January, when I usually just fall off running because of the weather and I barely get outside. But I also wasn't able to train in the fall, so I'm like, didn't want to go way behind. And I decided to making it a training block where just mostly checking off the box versus giving 100%, which I mentally can handle during the craziness of Q4. And then at least I have like a foundation again and the habit of running as I start getting back into my real training block, which will be in about end of February when I start training for my marathon. So, and the reward is the party that is race day. Race day is a rave to me. I will forever be a raver. I've just learned to accept it. And so I need my reward, my music festival in the end, and that will be able to run this half marathon. On to week number 2. And this is why I've fallen off any fitness goal in my life, is just that, life. I used to think a workout plan meant you had to do it 110% and kill myself to make it happen no matter what. And then eventually something happens, I can't, I get discouraged, and then I fall off. But no more of this. This week, I had social events all weekend. I had to jam 5 days of work into 3 days, fly to Sweden, straight into Wives and Girlfriends weekend in Stockholm. 8-kilometer run at 5 a.m. in the freezing cold. Woo! Now, this is the holidays, and the last thing I want to do is miss out. These are all great things, but also I want to stay relatively accountable. So I did make adjustments. Long run. Have to do it on Thursday because travel this week. Whew. Full confession, I'm walking a lot of this 18K because the rain happened and we're at 0. So there's so many ice patches just forming. So I'm just kind of, as soon as I see an icy spot, I'm just walking and then running. Yeah, it's not ideal, but that is the reality of winter running. And I try to remind myself the fact I'm running in the winter is like I'm ahead of the game. Because normally in the winter I just kind of give up on running and wait till the spring and summer, as do most people. So it's kind of like, don't feel bad if you don't run in the winter. Just feel like you're doing extracurricular activities when you run in the winter. That's my rationale. Like you that run spring, summer, fall, A+ students. You that run in the winter are A+ students that decide to take a language course after school for shits and giggles. Like, that's how I feel. So yeah, it's not ideal, but safety first. And this is really lame, but I don't hear this online. Like I just hear the like grind, and no one's talking about how there's this ice patch. So I'm gonna walk. And yes, you can buy spikes. I've been trying to buy spiked running shoes for 2 weeks. They're sold out everywhere in my size. Early on in the week, before the week started, I told myself I was allowed to miss one workout, which was day 12 due to travel. But the following week, which is a normal schedule, I was not allowed to miss any workout that week. This is a concept from James Clear, and the idea is if you miss one day, it's an accident. If you miss 2, it's a habit. And this also applies to weeks. It doesn't have to necessarily mean every single day. And so I think during those busy times and things will get missed, you just have to say, how do I make this not a habit? And by giving myself permission to miss a couple things on a busy week, but having to be accountable on my free weeks just allows for me to stay on course. We're getting into week 3, and I always remind myself week 3 of a program. You know, we're getting our weights in, we're getting our cardio, we're getting our mobility, and most importantly, we just have to get to week 3 because that is when a routine becomes more autopilot and you can actually see something, whether it's you start to feel a little stronger, a bit more energy, getting a little bit more fast, a little muscle memory coming back. Plus, it's just a reminder for myself that, oh yeah, I'm a runner. 7K tempo run. I ran for 3 weeks. I'm not a phony. Happy Thursday, well, 5:30 a.m., 6.5, easy run. Because whenever I take time off, like I just assume like I'm no longer a runner and I can't do that. So for example, yeah, day number 20, I was shocked I was able to do this long run, but I'm also going to give a trick for some of you who might hate hate your long runs. For me, I love B races. So just like, it's not actually the big race you're training for. It's like a one in between. And I love it because race day is for the vibes. So instead of doing a long run on my own, I think of sometimes just signing up for race days to keep me accountable and just enjoying the actual race day itself. So instead of training to have a PR, just training to have fun, race day itself can just be like a long workout. Now, before I go into week 5, I want to give some tips for following a workout program. Number 1, always have a good, better, best plan. So have your best plan, your 100%, everything's in there. Have a version that you know you missed a couple things, and then have a I just got it done, I only have 10-minute versions of your plan. 2, work out based on time efficiency versus science efficiency. I think a lot of programs are based on like the most optimal way to work out to get benefits, but sometimes the reality is like you can get it done a lot faster because the barbell is at that side of your gym. So during busy times like Q4 that this was, I just worked out in the order that just got me out of the gym as fast as possible and doing things like supersetting in that. 3, done is better than perfect, but never sacrifice form. 4, adapt, adjust, and plan for time for reflection. So make sure in this program, whether schedule in 4 weeks, 6 weeks, have a time that you can look back, see your progress, and adapt, because you might need to up it, you might need to lower your program. There's many things you might have to adapt on your own life. 5, for picking a program and starting one, start with one of 2 things. 1, exercises you enjoy, or 2, exercises that are simple. I find either one of those is more likely to get you started at the beginning while you build momentum. So it's not the best time to try cleans. It's a better time to just maybe do a lunge. Or if you're like, hey, Keltie, I love push-ups, do push-ups. And for example, one thing I love about the Runna app and why I've used it is it's super flexible in this. So you can say, I only have 10 minutes, I only have 20 minutes, I only have 30 minutes. I have this many times a week to weight train, I have this many times a week to running. So as much as, yes, someone could build me this optimal running program, that is not my life. And also I probably won't follow it 100%. So what's the point of having this 100% perfect plan that you can't follow 100%? I love that Runna is adjustable. Its algorithm allows you to adjust throughout it, depending on your speed, how you're progressing. And it's just a lot more realistic. And I find the reason I keep coming back to running in the Runna program is it's realistic. And so I actually complete it 100%. And there's ways you can move things around. So every week I can look, I was like, oh, I'm traveling, I have to move this and this and this. And they give tips and recommendations if you move things around. But at the end of the day, you have your own accountability. So much as it's a plan, it's flexible to make your own, which I think is like best of all worlds. And it's connected to Strava. So it's like the gamifiedness of it. You can make it social or unsocial. And I just find it like just the most seamless app. And I have absolutely loved it. I know you see so many people talk about Runna, but there's a reason behind it. I have not stayed as accountable on a workout app probably ever, because most workout apps, I'm going to be honest, I use for a challenge and then I fall off them for the most part because I'm like, ugh, they're just like annoying in some way. And Runna, even as simple as like, I hate workout apps that like you have to follow the exercise. Like it's like 30-second timer. Dun, dun. No, I just want to like look at it, go do it on my own pace, check it off at the end. Now, not everyone agrees, but for me, and I love Runna, you can do either. It just thinks of little things like that, of how I mind it. I can adapt it to my own preference. And I've been talking about Runna a lot, and the best thing is I have a way you can try it for free for 2 weeks if you're interested and you want a program to get you started with. If you use my code Keltie, and I'll also link down in the description, you'll get 2 weeks off Runna. I recommend it. I love it. It's one of my favorite running apps there is out there, which has kept me accountable all 3 of these weeks, which kept me into week 4, getting closer to that race day. And thank you, Runna, for sponsoring this video. And week 4 means my routine is finally here. After moving, traveling, I have been craving a routine for months now. And this week it finally sunk in. I have a routine again. And it feels like flow. I think that's why I always preach getting a routine, getting a habit, and all these. You eventually get into that flow state. And I sometimes get asked, how do I stay motivated? And the reality is I'm probably only motivated like 15% of my workouts. Like then I'm like, oh, let's go do this. Most of the time, I just build a routine so I show up. In the same way you would show up for work or school. You may not be motivated every day to go to work, but you just do it. And that's what my workouts are. Like they just get done because you just got to do it and they're scheduled in, and eventually they become autopilot, part of your routine. 9K easy run in potentially my most chaotic outfit to date. And that was a freeing day for me when I realized I can do something when I'm not in the mood for it. Yep, can still do things when I'm not in the mood. Still go to work when I'm not in the mood. Still work out when I'm not in the mood. It seems so obvious, but I remember like always in anything in life, it's like, oh, I have to be in the right mood and else. And one day I could just tell myself, like, I just felt like an adult where I was like, yeah, I'm not in the mood. I'm going to do it anyways. Which I needed for my last run of this training block because this pure ice on the ground, not feeling too motivated for this week's long run. Okay, we got a long run and it is a long one. It is 20K, so pretty much a half marathon. And I know this isn't mind-blowing, but it's always mind-blowing to me. At the end of my marathon training, I was doing like 34-kilometer long runs. And like a 20-kilometer long run didn't seem that long. And then took time off, got back into this, and at the start of the half marathon training, running over 10K seemed like so long. And even like the first few days, and I had that 18K one, and I saw 20K on the schedule, and I was like, oh, I'm not capable of that. And it's so funny, it always happens with running. You slowly increase it slowly, now like 20K doesn't seem that big of a deal. It's crazy, and if you've never run that long, I know that sounds annoying to hear, but it's not, because you could start and then suddenly in a couple weeks you'd be here, like, or months depending. So it's just kind of cool. I guess I completely doubted myself at the beginning. I was like, oh, I'm never going to be able to run that much. And now, yeah, I'm going to go run 20K. Adult hobbies. But the best thing is what was waiting for me after this long run, the holidays. So yes, week 1 and 2, I was out of the office for the holidays. So here's a recap. We had Christmas, we had New Year's, we had fun, we had drinks. And my break for the holidays was not to film my workouts and just work out for me. But now for my real reward of sticking to my workout plan for a whole month. Music festival time, aka race day. Mine is Celsius, Sweden, train down to Stockholm and flight to Houston. Landed at 3:50 p.m., dropped my bags in just enough time to make it to the Brooks 4 p.m. shakeout run. Yes, 10 minutes later. I don't know how I made it. The cramps post 24-hour travel day were real on this shakeout run, not giving me much confidence for race day. But expo time the next day and getting my bib is the moment it really sinks in that, like, oh yeah, I do have to race tomorrow. And while I'm here, ride a mechanical running shoe, because why not in Texas? Pizza has slowly become my go-to pre-run meal over pasta. I don't know why, but it's working. And now we're into race day. Race day morning it is. I got up at 4 a.m. We're gonna have some food. It's an early start time, 6:45, 6:55, which I kind of like. And it's gonna be cold in Texas. I thought I was gonna be running in 20 Celsius. Of course not. Of course not. And I went into this race day worried. I wasn't going to be able to run the whole thing and I'd have to stop and walk. I had just come back from surgery, had to train the whole time slow on ice. But I knew even though my training wasn't perfect, like it was for my last marathon, I kept reminding myself at least I showed up. Let's go. And I did every kilometer, even if they were not perfect and I had to walk at times. The first 10 kilometers, I took it conservatively to be safe. And dare I say I took it too conservatively, because the last 10 kilometers, I was in the zone and had so much in the tank. And I was able to maintain a pace for the last 3 kilometers. I didn't even think I was capable of running. I thought I should slow down, but it felt effortless, the true runner's high. And it was such a reminder to myself that even if training isn't perfect, as long as you show up and do it, race day will always reward you with the runner's high. You got this! Woo! Just finished, sprinted in. My hands are frozen, so I couldn't film the last bit because I could have grabbed my phone. That was great. It was a fun day. A little chilly, but you know, this Swede Canadian cannot complain about it being cold. If I had to sum up this race, it'd be one thing. Confidence. This gave me confidence. I don't know why, even though I just run a marathon in September, taking time off, I completely doubted myself that I was able to run. And I do this time and time again, and I think we're all guilty of it. Like when you're away from something, you like forget it and you don't think you're capable of those things. And it was just a moment of time. And my running wasn't perfect. I ran so slow this training block, and I was just so worried about race day. I was like, I just finished a marathon, and I don't think coming back from surgery and running on this slow ice, I'm going to be able to run. And dare I say that last 3 kilometers was one of the most effortless runs I've ever done. It felt so good. I felt athletic. I felt fast. The music was blaring and it was a runner's high like I never experienced. And it's just a reminder, training isn't meant to be perfect. And I think as anyone who's a former athlete, I think if I don't execute my training plan 100% to the T, I will not perform. But as long as you show up and do the work, even if not every training day is perfect, race day will just be fun. And this was just such a fun race day. And it's just the perfect inspiration and just confidence building that I know I can run the London Marathon. This year, I was really focused on slow and long with my marathon training, which was easy in the late winter, spring, summer, when I just wanted to get outside. And with that, though, I definitely did sacrifice weight training and mobility because I just wanted to be outside more. And also for myself, it worked best to just get as much volume as possible instead of concentrate as much on building more muscle, which is incredibly beneficial, but we only have so many hours in the day. Now that it's been winter, it was really nice to lean into the gym a bit more. And I wasn't running quite as much as I did for my marathon, only 3 runs a week, but I was getting a lot more time in the gym and all that, and it felt great. And I think there's something about leaning into the season. You can also have that. Being inside, working out feels great, but being inside in the gym when it's sunny outside, not as nice. Which I'm excited for. Now, before I gotta train over the summer for a fall marathon. This is the first time I'll be training over the winter, spring for a spring marathon. And so with this more focus on weight training mobility, how will that lead to my marathon results instead of focusing so much on just my volume outside? And I hope you guys like this video. I just kind of wanted to show a realistic balance of what a workout could be. So I get those questions all the time, like, what's your workout plan? How does this work? And I want to know a few things. My workouts change all the time. My body was really built probably from years and years of sports, and that was the biggest thing. And then genetics. At the end of the day, I have long limbs and a long torso and femurs, and that's how my body is. And then I have really short calves, so that's why my calves look jacked. They're just really short. There's just unique things that you can't really change about your body, and that's how you're built. And also, I would have to do so much training to really change how my body looks, and it would have to be really aesthetic based. But no, in general, my workout plans usually just fall around the basics of getting the zone 2 VO2 max, strength training, mobility, stability I've talked 100 times, but they ebb and flow depending on the season and my specific goals. This one was really about getting me back into the habit of running again, specifically in the winter when I don't want to as much, and 2, really focusing more on weight training and mobility, which I lacked in the past because I really this year want to get my strength up. So yeah, it wasn't impressive, my strength training, because that was the whole point, is I want to get my strength training up as well. And these are kind of how I implemented, how I build a plan, and how I stay accountable to it. And honestly, this video, you're probably like, yeah, that wasn't really sexy. It's not. It's about building a plan, making sure it fits into your schedule, and reminding yourself some days it's gonna suck. We got a 16K long run today, and it's ironically minus 16 degrees today. But a lot of days is great. If you have good playlists, the gym is a vibe. At the end of the day, that could also summarize this video, is just make sure you have a really killer workout playlist, and then running and working out is way easier. But I'd love to know any tips you guys have about building a program and staying accountable, and what's worked for you in January. And guess what? If it hasn't worked so far, it's okay. Adapt, readjust, and keep on plan. You got this. Have a great day. Go pet a dog. Love you guys. Bye. Sorry, I just slammed that down. I got my point across.